back just 2 seconds after the last one, and I'm freezing to death. So I'm gonna try to make this one shorter. But I say that every fucking time. Um. Oh shit! I gotta get up and start moving around. I'm gonna get lazy. But yeah. So I have a hard time talking about smoking cigarettes. So we're going one more. And so even though I'm sitting here talking to myself, I still feel like I'm talking to somebody a little bit. And I don't know, it's just weird. If I'm talking to people that I'm not like super comfortable around, so I'm basically like chain smoking. Like it's like a thing to do. And it kind of gives you, it's like very grounding. It kind of gives you like a second or two while you're smoking there to kind of like process what they said and for you to think. And it's like, this is all done like subconsciously too. It's wild, but I've sitting here and kind of analyzed it over time. But my absolute favorite thing about smoking is to be able to like dip out from like social settings whenever I just get so fucking like tore up and feel like completely like throwing up and just overstimulated and stuff. I get to step outside for a few minutes and fucking do my thing. It's like get some fresh air, get to walk around a little bit. It's like nobody even thinks twice about it. If you didn't smoke and then you just got up like super abruptly in like a family gathering to go outside and you're out there like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna worry about you? Again, you shouldn't necessarily care what people fucking think, but you don't want to have to explain your situation to normies and NPCs because they're not even going to be able to understand well, why in the fuck do you need to come outside and get some air? Because everybody was in there talking so fucking loud. And it's just got you fucking feeling all wild. Like, you just don't even have to go through that. So it's like, oh, I just came out for a cigarette. I was, oh, okay. No more questions asked. You're good. But anyways, this video is going to go along with the last two that I made. And this will be the final, like this little 3-part fucking similar topic thing. This one here, last one focused more on the politics side. This one's going to focus more on the mostly Christianity side. Just again, from my area, my like living in America experience and stuff, whatever, right? Especially in the Bible Belt area and shit here. Okay, so along with these videos in online and in social settings, but I haven't talked to anybody other than my wife about legitimate shit in fucking forever, just because they can't even comprehend, and I'm not even trying to get into this bullshit. I'm just going to talk about their fucking fast food and goofy movies that they've fucking been watching or whatever, right? Well, anyways, in addition to all that, you'll be watching some of these videos and stuff online. You have a bunch of people in the comments section, and then they're defending right wing and God style like personality and stuff like that. They're like, oh yeah, this big thing's happening with all these like conspiracy like type things, or there's people that are running the world, or there's this like alien fucking entity, or there's like this history where there's been a reset or whatever, right? Like these types of things, right? And people feel like a certain helplessness, I feel like, and then they're quick to be like, did the Jesus take the wheel thing, right? And they turn to all this, and then they're very quick to blame that, oh yeah, all these people that are doing these evil things in society and stuff, as in the higher powers, elites, whatever, they're all worshiping demons and stuff like that. And it's like, no, no, they are not. This is one thing. There's very few things that I'm not very open, or that I'm not very open about, and that I'm like 99% on. I always say that because I can always change my opinions down the road and stuff like that, because I'm open to grow and learn. But I truly believe what it is is you have people that have harnessed. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, God that people would refer to was Yahweh, which is what he was called, but that's not the exact pronunciation of it, uh, because everybody who knew the OG name and how to pronounce it was like killed out at one point or was forgotten. I can't exactly remember, but I'm just gonna say Yahweh, right, for the sake of the video here. But if you're in one of the big three religions and stuff, the Abrahamic ones, um, you have to understand that, and this is mostly going to be about Christianity, by the way, but just because what I know the most about, the people that are in power and kind of doing these things and stuff to society or what have you, or have covered up history and whatever, they are the most Yahweh-ish people ever, right? I mean, even if you want to use the Bible for legitimate research and stuff like that, I mean, think about all the like the what the fuck 10 plagues or whatever to Egypt and stuff like that, and then think about all the, I mean, Yahweh was a storm god, right? So uh, that makes sense with a lot of things to me, anyways. But these aren't. It's a little bit harder to explain, so bear with me here. But these people are harnessing this energy because everybody put, or so many people anyways, put so much faith and energy to this deity, so it thus becomes super fucking powerful. Because that's with anything, it's like you can will something into existence, you can manifest it, right? And they are manifesting these powers, and they are using it because what people don't realize, that I always use this example, is a deity is like a gun, for example, right? You can use it for good, you can use it for evil, right? The gun in of itself isn't necessarily evil. You can use it to protect your family, or you could do it to go on a rampage or something with, right? Um, and then they always say, oh, these people are actually worshiping demons and stuff like that. No, they're not. They're actually worshiping God, and they're using these powers to fucking do so with. Um, in fact, the majority of Christians are just that in name alone. I think they're actually more just fucking atheists. They don't even believe in like ghosts or spirits or anything like that. Like, it's the most next to atheism, or maybe agnosticism, stuff like that. And there may be some other ones that I don't know what the fuck is in different parts of the world or whatever, right? But it's very close to that. Um, and in the Bible, it talks about all these different ones. Then why do they go way out of their way to basically shit all over all these other deities and stuff like that? And because they were trying to hype up and make one of theirs the biggest one. And then all this got sold and pushed and conquered and stuff like that. Like, Christianity was basically one world government way before that term was ever applied and stuff like that. Because politics and religions, they say keep it separate, but it's so much the fucking same. It's crazy because it's all kind of a means to the same end, right? So with Christianity, I think people really have to get out of that and get back to more of a paganistic approach to things, or they have to, you know, fuck around with the gods or deities that have been demonized, which is just a term, because these are the other ones who was at war at one time, biblically, with Yahweh, or the ones that were kind of pushed out to usher in this one, because monotheism is really a new concept. And in all actuality, I don't believe Christianity at all to be monotheistic. I mean, in the sense of the stories and how it actually is, it's just it acknowledges other deities, but it's like only put your energy and faith towards this one. Then it becomes the all powerful one, right? And then the elites or whatever, they are. I'm always using quotations, and I'm I'll try to get into too much stuff here, but they then use these powers for all this because if anybody's actually paid attention or read anything in the Old fucking Testament, by the way, uh, the New Testament is really only used by Christianity again to make it more palatable for the West and stuff like that, right? Which then it's also stated that Jesus was talking about it basically rewrote the wrongs of the Old Testament, and then some people even believe that he was Lucifer because they have so many similarities and things like that. But letting Jesus take the wheel isn't the fucking answer, because if you're doing that, it's literally kind of like that saying that they always say is like, even though you weren't the one who did the bullying, you sat there and watched and allowed the bullying to happen, so therefore you are still guilty to a certain extent. It's kind of the same fucking concept to me, anyways. Because this isn't going to fix everything, because you're just aligning with the people who are in power and doing these things, which is, following Yahweh and these teachings and stuff like that. And if you look at a lot of things in history, like actually dig into them, any opposition that these people had faced, they weren't truly Christian. And with that, excuse me, I truly believe that Christianity is not the answer. The Jesus take the wheel stuff is not the answer, because it's literally just feeding into it. It's literally the same thing, aligning with right wing Christianity, but then acknowledging that these things are going on. You're standing on the sidelines letting this shit happen. Like, you're not thinking for yourself. You just have to kind of go along with what everybody else says and does, and it's all a means to the same end, as I kind of kept saying in these videos. And if anybody watches this or whatever, and kind of interested in these things, I'm not the best at explaining all this, just because I'm not the best at explaining anything. But again, the Christianity thing is just, you're kind of standing on the sidelines and you're still feeding into it. These people aren't using demon powers. These people are using Yahweh powers for these. The demons are the ones that are legitimate, because they've just been kind of used and made all dark and spooky and cool and shit like that, which, don't get me wrong, I fuck with that shit. But and like I say, just using the firearm analogy is you can work with these beings and stuff like that, and it's up to you, because again, the as above so below, you have the ability to use these powers when working with them for whatever your reasoning is and stuff, right? And some are going to be different than others. It's kind of like, you're not going to go to like somebody that's like super friendly and nice and ask them to go and fucking rob a Walmart for you, or whatever, right? Like you're going to go to some like crazy ass crackhead motherfucker or something like that don't give a fuck about anything to go do that for you, right? Excuse me. So many different personality traits. Again, you're not gonna go buy a fucking bazooka to go squirrel hunting with or whatever. No, you're gonna go get you like a fucking 20 gauge or something, right? Like different tools I hate to, this sounds like I'm kind of downplaying it, because these are almighty like beings that are here and have been here forever, and they deserve the utmost praise and everything. But it's like you're not gonna dig a ditch with a fucking log roller. You're gonna get a shovel or a grubbing hoe or whatever, right? Like it's and like war storm god and stuff like that is going to be destructive and powerful, because that's kind of what they do. It's their thing. It's their nature, right? And they're harnessing these abilities, and especially whenever so many people's put it up on a pedestal, like God isn't necessarily on your side and isn't protecting you from these things. If that was the case, shit would have changed by now. Like there would have been a whole different swaying of opinions, stuff like that. And also, why are you allowed to be a right wing Christian and claim to know all these things and stuff like that? Like if these things are promoted and churches are everywhere and all this right wing stuff is like on like it's easily accessible and stuff like that, you're allowed to have it. You're allowed to drink the Kool-Aid. You're allowed to fucking do all these things. Like, you know, it's, I guess, kind of like that meme. They feed us or they suppress our medicine, feed us their poison so then they can give us their medicine or some fucking shit like that. It's kind of the same thing. It's like, if it's like promoted and is a normal thing, you know, you're allowed to have these opinions because it's not anything fucking different than what they're doing or what others are doing, right? And Christianity is not repressed at all. Like it's, I'm not saying everything that is legitimate is repressed, but I'm just saying like, look at just the followers of this and what it's actually accomplished over fucking time, other than erasing and rewriting history and changing things and conquering and all these awful things that's been done in history due to this. It's all just been a political strategy from fucking day one, right? Oh, and if you're a Christian, you're not allowed to be a part of the big J one because you're not born into it, right? Yeah, you can join, but it's not the same, right? It's not the deep ones or whatever from the bloodlines and stuff, right? And Christianity is basically light duty version to make it more palatable for the normies, for the masses, right? Because basically it's like you can't join the club, but you can be on the outskirts of the club and you can fight for and protect the club. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so like I said, I'm not saying anybody needs to go out and fight and do all this bullshit or anything like that, but I'm just saying get away from that hive mentality and start looking into shit yourself and don't worry about what the fuck everybody else says and don't just like give up on it and be like, all right, I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm gonna let Jesus take the wheel. Figure out some shit for yourselves and think about it, you know. God damn, this video's long. But anyways, gonna end it there. I'll probably talk more about it in the future because I love rambling about this shit, but maybe try to get some thoughts together so I can feel like I formulated a little bit better. But anyways, I've got to get to work and hope you guys take it easy.